It's time for the Mohney Show. High atop the third story of the historic Gibson House overlooking beautiful downtown Centralia. The star of the show, Steve Mohney.
Yes. Welcome, folks, to the Mohney Show. And, man, I can't believe it's been over a year since we've been doing the Mohney Show. Paul's usually... Crap. Here we go. I gotta
Sorry.
testing 1, 2, test 1, 2. Hey, you know what's really funny is I'm deaf and you have them louder.
I like to hear myself.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Welcome to the Mohney Show. It's kind of our pre-holiday edition of the Mohney Show. Paul's on assignment. Well, actually, he's back from assignment, but he's busy right now over in the other office. And Dave Pavletich is with me right now, and otherwise known as Commander Dave. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure.
So
I've been begging you to come on
no,
the show
you have
for weeks.
not been begging me. I've been begging you, and you said, I don't know about that. This makes me remember the back in radio when we had a very late night kind of a broadcast called the Dave and Steve Show.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to kind of do some history of our friendship?
Yes, absolutely. So we met, what year was it? Was it 87?
October of 88.
Okay. And Dave came from the harbor. So give me some insight of when you got into radio. I mean, this is a fascinating story, folks, because I guess it's been long enough the FCC can't come after us.
I think we've passed the statute of limitations.
Okay, so
on that one, yeah.
Start out when you were like, really young and you just got the radio bug and you had to get into radio and what you did and some of the people that helped you.
I was sick when I was 13 I had a tonsillectomy, and in my recovery, my dad went to Radio Shack and decided to buy me one of those build your own radio station kits for AM radio.
Ah, nice.
That had a 9-volt battery and a little tiny microphone. And I built it. And then from there, I just started connecting things to it. To heck with that 9-volt battery.
Right.
I connected some power to it. I connected a little audio board to it. And then it was cassette players and turntables and microphones.
How did you get it? I mean, it was controlled with a 9-volt battery. How did you put like regular power to it without blowing it up?
I just cut the end off one of those little adapters that you plug into, I don't know, whatever little electronic device you have in the house, and it worked.
So tell me about the story of when you ran this antenna up a tree.
Oh boy! So this is a couple of years later. I had started working weekends at KGHO in Hoquiam, the top 40 station. I was 14. And
wow.
At about the same time, another of my friends from KGHO, who was an engineer, helped direct me, and we started building a little bit more powerful radio station, we'll put it. It was,
so now, is this still AM?
It was AM.
Okay.
It was 20 watts.
Man.
And we built an antenna up the side of a tree, and it ended up going 5 miles, and it was pretty fun.
So whose tree? Where was it? In your backyard?
Well, it happens that we're really getting into the weeds here on this thing, but it just happens 3 houses down was the city manager for the city of Hoquiam, who was a family friend.
Okay.
And
should we continue?
I asked him, do you care if I go up and cut down a couple of trees on city property? Just don't tell anybody, but I don't care. So we cut down a couple of trees. We made a telephone pole out of another one, and then put some copper tubing up it and made an antenna out of it. And it was pretty awesome.
And this is it. What year?
That was 85 when we did that.
85. Yeah. Things have changed since then.
Yes.
Yeah, there could be an incident. So that one went 5 miles. At what point did you switch over to FM?
I never really did fully.
Oh, okay.
This was pre-internet.
Yeah.
And so finding inexpensive pieces of pirate equipment was just not possible then. And, if you didn't buy a broadcast quality transmitter that cost thousands of dollars,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you probably couldn't find one.
So you did. I mean, I kind of know the story here. I mean, I love the way you're the one telling it, but you had some kind of a automation system. I mean, what was it?
Well, in the age of an iPhone, where now I could put
Yeah.
50,000 songs on my phone and run a radio station off my phone, in 1983, when I started building my little pirate station, I had to go mow lawns and buy 45s. And then the next iteration was I found an auto reverse cassette deck at Radio Shack, and we would record 45 minutes on one side, 45 minutes on the other. And we'd make all these tapes with all the hits, and they would just repeat every hour and a half. Occasionally we'd go up and pull the tape out, put another one in so that the songs change. And all of a sudden we had a 24-hour-a-day pirate radio station.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, did you have help from other people? I mean, was it just you on the air, or were there other people on the air?
I had some friends, my brother,
Steven.
And then I also had the help of some of the guys that I worked with at the radio station. They thought it was kind of cool I was doing it.
So by the time I met you in 88, I mean, you were like this radio guru guy. And I'm like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. And fast friends.
Yeah, immediately we became friends for all these years.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. And then you worked in radio. Obviously, you continued for a long time, and then you went out to the Lucky Eagle.
I did.
You made your mark out there. So Dave's not only like a DJ, a programmer. You're like the IT guy.
Yeah. So on our latest project, which
Yes.
we'll talk about in a minute, Mohney FM, I'm kind of pulling on two different careers.
Yes.
One, radio broadcasting, way in the past. I haven't worked in radio in 25 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And then more recently, of course, for 20 some years, an IT professional, software developer out at Lucky Eagle Casino. And so this really takes both of those skill sets to build a modern internet radio station.
And when we worked at the Lucky Eagle, because Dave was responsible for getting my audio together when I was doing weekends DJ work out there, and I mean, you did a marvelous job with that.
Thanks.
But we polled when we were out there. There were so many people that worked out there that had other careers, and then came to work out there, and you could kind of pull from. I mean, it was really a pretty cool environment. Denny Murray was a radio guy and a TV guy, so he could, book these bands. He knew half the people that were in the bands,
right?
That he was booking. Like, Glenn Campbell came to town. And he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he also had all the stage presence to be able to, introduce these people. And
right.
Anyway, I think that's what we're getting to here. It's really nice to have a lot of other experiences when you're doing
Definitely.
This type of thing. So tell us a little bit about how Mohney FM came about. I mean, I had this idea, and I mean, folks, I'm not an IT guy. I mean, I can be on the radio. That's for him.
Well, the founder of the company that we work for, Paul Beatty, years ago, decided he was going to build a sports network and do it online rather than on radio stations.
Right.
We're going to put it on the internet. And it took a few years for that to get off the ground. And then more recently, we decided, hey, we don't need to have a plot of land on the top of a mountain with a transmitter and bringing in power and building a radio station in a building somewhere like the old days.
Huge money.
A lot of money.
Not to mention the FCC and the, a construction permit, or even if you can get a signal.
Yeah, it would take years.
Yeah.
Potentially. And we're between Portland and Seattle, so it's even more challenging to get a station on the air because the dial's pretty full.
It is.
So we're kind of going off the model that Paul created over 10 years ago, which is to take a traditional broadcast medium like sports broadcasting and put it on the internet. Now we're doing it with radio. And so we have an entire radio station that you and I and Paul have named Mohney FM, and it's on the internet.
I just thought it was like, I mean, you could say, well, it's not on FM. Yeah, but, the FM part of it, I thought that it sounded like radio.
Right.
And it just sounded like, I mean, like Jack FM up in Seattle.
Right.
And I think Charlie, I'm not sure if Charlie's down in Portland, but I mean, and now they're naming some of these stations after gals. Like that's like the new thing, like I can't even think of a name, but it's a female type,
Like Retha FM.
yeah, something like that. I mean, they're naming those signals, different gal names now. So I thought, well, Mohney, I mean, what the heck?
Right.
It's Mohney. But I never wanted to use my real name in radio because, I mean, you didn't.
Right.
And most of the people, that we know.
Well, I did when I was on the harbor because Pavletich is a well-known name on the harbor. But when I moved to Lewis County, nobody knows what Pavletich means.
Right.
Right.
And so you used, Roger Dale named you Commander Dave.
Right.
And of course I was the Bushman.
And I learned that about an hour before I was going on the air.
That's always how they do it.
Roger said, "You're going to use this." And it was Commander Dave, and I gave in. I mean, what am I going to do? Say no?
Yeah, you can't do that. I remember the day that I was stripped of my Bushman name.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We've heard enough of that.
Was it a 5-word memo?
No, it was actually face to face.
Okay.
Yeah, I said fine with me. I didn't want to use it.
Right.
So I went to Steve Mohney because Billy Idol's Mohney.
Exactly.
Or Tommy James or whatever.
Which we may work into some of our station promotions at some point.
Yeah, so we're getting way off subject here. So here's how it's going right now. I'm doing morning. So you might think, well, when do you get here? What do you do? I get here before 6 o'clock.
Right.
And I start in. And at this juncture, it's early. I mean, not in the morning, but it's early in our station career.
Yes.
And Dave's, so I'm doing 6 to noon, and then Dave's doing noon to 6.
Noon to 6.
And then you do Totally Awesome 80s at 8. Now, tell us about that.
So, as a young disc jockey that really cut my teeth in the 80s, I know 80s music like the back of my hand.
Absolutely.
I was working at 2 different top 40 stations in the 80s. And, of course, we all remember the songs that came out when we were in high school, which is those years. And so I'm pretty well versed on the 80s, and so I thought that a cool feature on Mohney FM would be an 80s show at night.
I love it. I've been listening to it, because I'm out in the garage doing stuff, at that time, kind of, finishing up stuff from the day, and it's fun. I like guessing what year things happened. I mean, there's so much stuff to talk about in the 80s. I mean, Pac-Man
Fever.
Pac-Man Fever.
So do you remember that single?
Oh, I do.
So that might be a lost 45 on.
Oh, man.
So now I have to do it. So it'll be coming up on a show maybe this week. Maybe we'll bring off Pac-Man Fever.
Boy. I was at a record store on Saturday with my friend Eric down in Longview, and we're going to go there. This is a great little vinyl record store. And of course, one of the first 45s that I flipping through was Bobby McFerrin. Don't worry, be happy. Oh,
don't bring it in here. I'm not going to lie to play it.
Folks, it's a fine message, but man, the first time I ever heard that song, I think Roger Dale played it, and I'm like, oh boy, some of these are just too much. Anyway,
I mean, if you want to sneak it in on your show in the morning,
nope.
There's not much I can do about it, but it's probably not going to make an appearance on my show.
No, it's not going to make an appearance anywhere. And in fact, maybe I'll just buy the 45 so we can throw it on the ground.
There you go.
Yeah, that's not bad. I picked up some decent 45s. I mean, the vinyl 45s. I picked up a leading into our next topic, 3 or 4 Beatles.
Okay.
Yeah, I picked up Ticket to Ride, Day Tripper, We Can Work It Out. Also, the Ballad of John and Yoko and Old Brown Shoe on the back of the Ballad of John and Yoko. So with all that being said, and Dave, you're the one that named the show, Steve Mohney's Magical Mystery Tour.
Well, I gave you a couple options, and you went for that one.
I don't know what I was thinking. I just was kind of brain dead, and I'm like, man, that's a really good. That's a good topic. I mean, a good title for the show.
Yeah,
it's a little bit.
So Sunday mornings at 10,
40.
Steve Mohney's Magical Mystery Tour on Mohney FM, and you've done about over a month of shows now. I think this will be on episode number 5 this coming week.
Is this 4 or 5?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So last week was we we concentrated on George Harrison last week because George passed away. Oh, the calendar's gone on November 29th of 2001. So we featured the music of George Harrison. And this week we'll talk about Lennon and McCartney, that just unbelievable powerhouse of hits. I mean, it's just something else. And that starts at 10 o'clock on Sunday. So as you mentioned this week, make yourself a turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
Sit back and enjoy the show. And I mean, they're not perfect, but and this is to be understood too. It's a one-man band here. I don't have an engineer. I don't have a producer. I don't have any writers. I mean, so a lot of this stuff is ad-libbed with all the information that I've learned over the years.
Yep.
But it's so much fun to be able to talk about all this stuff.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's great fun. And Dave also picked up the book for me. Elliot
Mintz, the famous biographer of John and Yoko.
Yeah, and the book is it'll just blow your mind. I mean, how Elliot Mintz got hooked up with John Lennon and Yoko Ono was he called her publicist to see if he could do an interview with her, and he got an interview with her on his live TV or his radio show back in like 1970.
Right.
And so he did the interview, and the very next day she calls him at home.
Right. Which celebrities don't do that.
No, they don't ever do that. And he thought, wow, this is pretty neat. Well, she just kept calling. And then pretty soon he said, well, doesn't this make your husband kind of mad? You're talking to, a single guy in the middle of the night. She goes, well, it's not the middle of the night here. I'm in New York,
And they were fairly reclusive, especially John.
Exactly.
Not somebody that did many live concerts.
Nothing.
Didn't give that many interviews.
Yeah.
And then for them to get very involved with the reporter and their personal lives was quite unusual.
I think it was, they're very into vibes. And he was very into vibes, meaning that he wasn't going to press her to talk about John Lennon. Every interviewer all the time got to her and then just left her out in the cold to talk to John. And Elliot didn't do that. And so they made fast friends. And I'm to the part of the book now where they've driven cross country in this big, huge Dodge station wagon that they call the Dragon Wagon. And they've gone to San Francisco, and boy, what a story. I mean, this is really a great book. So anyway, thank you for that.
I think you'll touch more on John and Yoko's relationship with Elliot Mintz in upcoming shows as well.
Yeah, we will. And we'll touch base on, especially coming up here. I hate to do it because, we always recognize John on his birthday, which is October 9th. That's Sean, his son's birthday too. But December 8th had to have been one of the worst days of my life in 1980 when John got killed in New York. And I always touch base on it because I want younger people, and I just want people in general to remember John Lennon.
Right.
He was such a figure. So with Mohney FM, that's something I can do. And I get a little bit wordy sometimes.
That's okay.
But it's really a lot of fun. Tell us about our music.
So when we first came up with the concept for Mohney FM, knowing that your name's on it, we really wanted to make it representative of you.
Yeah, but if you're going to do
we're not going to be playing the Carpenters.
No.
Right? We're not going to be playing Neil Diamond, except for that one song that everybody likes.
You know what, though? It's really funny because I love the Carpenters and I love Neil Diamond, but that's not what people know me for.
But Steve Mohney's rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Beatles, Doors.
Yeah.
And then, of course, stuff more recent. So we tried to build a radio station and a musical sound that fit with Steve Mohney. And so I think we've done that. Everything from the Doors to Lady Gaga.
Yeah, we're playing AC/DC. We're playing, Billy Squier. There's just so much stuff in there that I love. I mean, doing this for as long as we've done it, and then going out and doing mobile disc jockey work, there's a vast amount of music there.
Right.
And no, I think it fits perfectly. Plus, you've added a lot of the stuff that I knew but kind of forgot about it.
Sure.
And it's completely representative of. Let's stop there. It's completely in the direction that I wanted to go. So there's like Ace of Base in there.
Right.
There's stuff like that maybe doesn't get played all the time. And all of a sudden, man, it sounds so fresh and so good, doesn't it?
Well, I've been mentioning this in the afternoon. What was my main goal about building this radio station? To bring fun back to local radio.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't been feeling that.
No.
And we're playing songs that are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Our shows are local, have local content and topics.
Try and touch base on all the stuff going on local. I mean, if you're listening, in San Diego, if Matthew's listening down there or wherever, you can enjoy it, but you're not going to hear anything about San Diego.
Right.
Probably you're going to hear about our weather here.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that I talk about in the morning. Hey, get up, get going. It's pouring outside.
Right.
Not that you're going to forget your jacket, but man, it's a huge help when you're walking out the door and you want to, figure out what's going on. So
absolutely,
it's local, but you've done a marvelous job with the music. I think it's fun and I think it's easy to listen to.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah. We're going to take a break here. We're going to hold on. Okay. Axe that for just 1 second. Yeah, a marvelous job. Right. But one thing I did want to mention is the app.
The app, yes.
So it's super easy to download. It's been ready for about 2 weeks now. Tell us how you get the app.
There's a couple of ways you can find it. The easiest way is to go to mohneyfm.com, mohneyfm.com, and there's links to the downloads.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can simply go on the App Store for iPhones or the Google Play Store and look up Mohney space FM, and it's there.
It's really simple. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And it's really cool because click and then you're right there. We will have more promotional material coming out and the official unveiling is on the way as well. But God damn it. But thank you so much for being on the broadcast today. And you're free to go back into your studio.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Back in just a sec right here on The Mohney Show. The real estate market is changing, and John L. Scott can answer your questions with a free market analysis. If you're a homeowner, it's really important to get a current market analysis. It only takes a few minutes of your time and contains valuable information about your biggest investment. This might be the year to make a move and take advantage of this market. For your free market analysis, see Laura Lee today at John L. Scott, 900 West Main in Centralia. We are back on the Mohney Show, and I'm getting kind of confused because we've got the Mohney Show here on the podcast, and then it's Mohney FM over there in the radio studio, and I'm having a hard time keeping track.
Mohney.
Mohney. I know there's a lot of
Marsha.
There's a lot of Mohney going on here. Brittany is with me because Commander Dave, he's
back in the cave.
He's back in the cave now. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about as far as what's going on. We're recording on Tuesday as usual. So Thanksgiving is on Thursday, 2 days away. But the Mohneys are doing Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's a kid thing. So we want to have everybody, together.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided, okay, we're doing this on Wednesday, which is fine because I'm going over east in the mountains to see my middle son, Aaron.
We do a similar thing. We had our first, we call it early family Thanksgiving, the first Saturday of November. So we've already got one.
Nice. One down.
In the books.
and that of course was Bryson's first.
It was, and he got to meet some of his family members for the first time. They
Nice.
Traveled into town for that. So
he sure is smiling a lot more now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's officially
3 months.
3 months old.
Yeah.
Boy, that went quick, didn't it?
I know. It's killing me. And he's already in 6-month jammies. It's rude.
Stop.
It's the rudest thing I've ever seen.
It is. It's very rude on his part. Okay, so events, tons of stuff going on. What do you got for our first event?
Well, the first one I wanted to highlight was the TAP Turkey Trot. It's
what is that?
So TAP is Total Thorbeck's Athletic Performance.
Oh, okay.
It's their facility upstairs in the Chehalis location.
Okay.
And the Turkey Trot is, you get up first thing Thursday morning and you go do a 5K, run or walk it before you go and pack on all the carbs and calories.
Oh man, that's perfect.
And they've designed it to be an event that raises money for nonprofits every year. Good. So this year it's the Chehalis Foundation and the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay, so what time do people have to get there if they want to do this?
Well, I have in my notes that registration starts at 7:45 a.m. if you aren't pre-registered. I believe you can pre-register now if you'd like.
Okay.
And then 8:30 the race starts.
Bang, baby.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a good time. It is.
You could do it. You could walk it with Bryson.
Oh yeah, I've done it in the past.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, when my kids were smaller and both of them fit in the double stroller.
Yeah, that's not going to happen these days.
So, no, I'm 3 kids deep. I can't do it anymore, Steve.
Believe me, I know all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just plain fun is all it is.
Yeah. And heaven forbid it's a rainy day because you don't normally know. And
well, you know what? It's not going to be rainy.
Oh, really? Is it gonna...
Well, we've got a chance of showers. This is the forecast as we see it on Tuesday, but it looks like on Thursday and Friday, no rain.
Okay.
In the forecast. Friday, partly sunny, and through the weekend as well. So it's supposed to actually dry up a little bit.
This is good because I have a Thanksgiving thing on Thursday and Friday. So...
I have a Thanksgiving tomorrow, and then I've got to go over east in the mountains, and I'm hoping I can get back because there's another Mohney Thanksgiving on Sunday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
That was moved because of sports action.
Well, that's his. Yes.
Yeah.
It's that time of year.
So that's what's going on. So let's see. So that's Thursday. The TAP Turkey Trot, Thorbeck's. What do you got for Friday, the 29th?
Well, that's Black Friday, as you know. So, I mean, of course, the first thing you could mention is that, the downtown Centralia Chehalis areas, many of their merchants and businesses have Black Friday sales in addition to their Shop Small Saturday. So Friday and Saturday is good downtown. The other thing that's kind of cool this year, do you know where the Loft is in downtown Chehalis? Yes. So they're doing a Trees for Hope
Now,
festival.
What is that? Because I read about this, but I wasn't sure.
So it's kind of cool. Nonprofits are invited to decorate a tree.
Okay.
And like, for instance, I work with the Autism Coalition.
Right.
So they had autistic kids come in and do ornaments.
Nice.
And so they have a whole tree for the Autism Coalition that has ornaments made by, population that they serve. There'll be lots of other nonprofits there. Stephanie, the organizer at the Loft, actually sent me a message and said, hey, do the Boy Scouts want to put out their holiday centerpieces?
Yeah, good idea.
So really, inclusive event. It is on November 29th, 30th, and the 1st. There's
so it's Friday, Saturday,
viewing time.
Sunday.
Well, those are the public viewing times.
Oh, okay.
So you can go in and walk through the trees, take a look at them, see what it's all about. The actual gala event where you can purchase the trees is December 3rd from 5 to 8 p.m.
I'm glad you were reading that because I can't find it. Oh, it's right there. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can preview on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
And man, I bet these are really done up.
Oh, I've seen there's several of these events that happen around the community now. The station down here in downtown does one as well. Providence Swedish has a long-standing Festival of Trees event they do.
Yep.
And it's just really fun. The cool thing with the Loft is if you're out Black Friday or Shop Small Saturday, you take a break, you pop in, you sip a cup of coffee, wander some trees, maybe take some pictures with the trees. I don't know. Tell your friends about the trees.
Exactly. Go back and talk to your coworkers about putting together maybe, some kind of a pot so you can go buy one of the trees. And...
Yep. And obviously all the proceeds from tree sales or whatever that evening, go back to those nonprofits.
Goes back to a good cause.
Yep.
The tree lighting ceremony downtown Centralia, that's always a fan favorite.
Yes.
Starts at 6 o'clock on Friday, November 29th.
Yeah.
So this coming Friday. Goes until 7 o'clock. And again, it's at George Washington Park. Now, they've got part of the park lit up.
Yeah.
Just part of it.
Yep.
But they'll light the entire thing up on Friday.
They do the official thing. They have sort of a ceremony that happens. In years past, there's been songs and Christmas carols. Yep. And I believe it was last year that we went and they had bubble snow.
Oh, nice.
And so it's cool. And
it
you
is.
Get to be
it's
out
very
there
cool.
And you see people and you say
and
hi,
you know what? And as far as the forecast right now, it's going to be dry.
Yeah. So
you've also got is Santa there or I know he's been like around there in years past.
I don't recall if he was last year or not, and I'm not sure if he is this year. It wouldn't surprise me, but I could not confirm or deny that.
Yeah. That's well put.
Thank you.
Again, that's at 6 o'clock this coming Friday night after Thanksgiving. What else do we have here? Okay, so Saturday, November 30th rather. That's Shop Small Saturday. And of course, Centralia, Chehalis, all the rest of the cities around our county.
Yep. There's
so much to offer. You head up to Morton. What a nice little town.
Morton's great. Has some good little downtown shops. Toledo is another one.
Yes.
That is just very cute.
Out to Tenino, all these little areas, but the shopping core in downtown Centralia and Chehalis, man, if you're looking for a gift that's unique, downtown Centralia.
I was trying to think last night with my husband, we're going to Thanksgiving at my grandma's house,
right.
And she always cooks so much food I want to take something, but if you take a dessert, she's a calorie counter. She's never going to eat the dessert.
Right.
I can go downtown Chehalis to Northwest Salmon Smokehouse.
Oh, yeah.
Get something for grandma and grandpa.
Yes.
In the same stop, which is a big deal because, I'm toting a baby around, so I don't like to stop extra places.
No, that's a great place. Absolutely.
and there's tons of spots like that downtown. And I believe there's a new menswear store.
There is. I was just going to mention that.
They're having an event, I believe, Shop Small Saturday.
As much as I hate to say it, I'm glad they're in there. I'm feeling sad that Jerry's not in there with the M&K Town Store because I loved M&K. It was always fun to go in there and chat with him and the vast amount of wine and beer.
Oh, it was great. I did. We got peach Bellini there a couple times and just stuff you don't find other places.
And you could ask Jerry and he's like, oh, yeah, try this one here. Yeah. And of course, they had a massive amount of candy, too.
Oh, yeah.
And that's always, you're a grandpa hero with that. Anyway, new men's store.
Yes.
And check that out. That's right next to the Market Street
right next
pub.
to Market Street Pub and the Good Fork and Juice store. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I haven't been in there yet, but it's on my list.
By the way, have you been into the Bigfoot store right there by the Chehalis Theater?
No. Oh, no, you're talking about it used to be yes, I have.
It was the
Mitch Moberg's store.
Yeah.
That's a great store.
Man, if you like Bigfoot, folks, that's the place to go.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got gifts that you can't find anywhere.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
They're hard to buy for people. You can always find something at a store like that.
And then we're coming to downtown Centralia because, I'll things have changed at the Mohney house because I'm back to getting up early. And so when I get done, I'll take a little trip down to the Centerville Cafe, have some coffee.
I love Centerville.
Oh yeah, but I'm just having coffee, because I'm on this diet. So, and the folks down there are really, really nice. But I do window shopping on the way down.
Oh yeah.
And man, there's so much stuff down here.
Oh, there's great stuff, and it does. So there's the downtown core, and then we forget sometimes there's a couple stores even north of downtown. But there's a whole.
But that's what we mean by shop local because, we all drive here and there to get stuff, but you do find stuff that's really interesting in these small areas.
Yeah. And it is kind of getting to the point, like when people ask, oh my gosh, this is so great. Where'd you get it? Like, I almost hesitate saying Amazon now because people are like, oh, so you just put in you didn't put any effort into finding my gift. You just typed in a keyword. So if you go downtown,
that's kind of true, I guess.
It's becoming more and more true, I've realized.
Man, I'll tell you what, for a while there, our house, like during the summer, I don't know what was going on. That Amazon truck was at the house. It's you again. Yeah, come on in. You want a water?
Oh my gosh. Yesterday, Skylar brought stuff in because I've started sort of my holiday shopping
Right.
between Amazon and eBay and other places. And yeah, there were 2 delivery trucks in our driveway at the same time.
Oh,
And my
bad.
husband was not impressed.
That is bad. Saturday, November 30th, we're talking about Shop Small Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Christmas festival at the Mason Jar.
That sounds really cool.
From 9 to 4.
They had a very extensive list of things happening at the Mason Jar. There's a lot going on there.
You get a hot cocoa bar, gift wrapping, kids crafts.
Oh man.
I feel like I can't get the words out today.
Yeah? Are you already in the Thanksgiving haze?
No, I've already done a radio show over there, and I'm tired, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, it's fine.
The Centralia Holiday Market from 10 to 6 inside the old dress barn. That's over there in the Centralia Factory Outlets.
Yeah.
That's on Saturdays through December 21st.
Yes.
See, like right there.
I believe in you, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks for giving bingo at McFiler's Chehalis Theater from 2 till 5 o'clock. $20 for 10 games or $2 for extra single games, and the proceeds benefit the Imperial Sovereign Court of the Raintree Empire. Whoa.
No idea.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it sounds impressive.
Tim, what is that? I don't know what it is. Trees for Hope, that's at the Loft. We talked about that a couple of moments ago. And the Holiday Craft Fair at the TRC Twin Cities Older Adult Center in Chehalis, 10 to 2. That's on Thursday and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you get a lot of stuff here, don't you?
I know. This isn't even all of it. These are just the highlights.
My mouth's tired. Tell us about the Chickmas.
Oh, so Chickmas is a Country Chicks event. It's become a pretty well-known and beloved institution in Lewis County. I mean, think primitives and barn board stuff and old furniture and farmhouse kind of decor.
Nice.
Great Christmas shopping if you have somebody, like my grandma.
Yeah.
Again, she's got chickens and black bears
Rustic.
and stuff. Yeah, rustic.
Yeah.
And so that's a place you could go and get a gift for somebody like that or for yourself. I'm not ruling it out.
I wonder if they have any trains.
I don't know.
Oh, by the way, off topic, folks. Did you guys go to the train meet last week?
The one
weekend?
Down in Ridgefield?
The one it was actually at the Cowlitz County Event Center.
Okay, no.
Obviously you didn't.
We missed it. We were on our Polar Express train ride.
Oh, okay.
So
that's funny because I saw it returning.
Did you?
Yeah, I looked down at there's a train. Oh, that's right.
Was that about 3:30?
It was something like that. I was back in town.
Yeah.
I went down to the Cowlitz Event Center. Boy, what a nice place.
Yeah, was it nice?
Yeah, it's at the Cowlitz County Fairgrounds.
Okay.
And they had a train show down there, train meet, and picked up a couple of pretty cool things. Yeah.
Nice. That was the LK&R.
There's a guy that I know out of Portland, and he has O-gauge Lionel stuff. I don't know what the deal is, but he's selling this stuff for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, wow.
I've
seen some wild estate sales, like with that kind of stuff.
I got a nice little, I think it's like an SW1 switch engine for $15.
So you want to know what I'm considering getting my kids for Christmas?
Yeah, don't have them watch the show. What is
I know.
Yeah.
I found an old school train telephone on eBay.
Really?
And there's a couple of them for sale. And because we're going to get a home phone again, because my kids want to start. Owen's getting old enough that we can leave him at home for short amounts of time.
Right.
But I want him to have a phone they can call if they need
I think, I think the home phone's a good idea.
Well, my 8-year-old wants a cell phone. And I said, how about a home phone? And then, maybe I can surprise him with this train phone and it'll be okay.
That's pretty good. That's really good. Yeah, they'll dig that.
Hopefully.
Boy, they like trains.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I tell you what we're doing this weekend?
No.
Camano Island.
Really?
For our very first Moose Creek Railroad Club meetup.
Okay.
They do theirs with the big holiday lighting up there.
That is so cool. The boys got involved with those guys at the train show at the Southwest Washington Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And, Hank's what, 7, 8?
8.
Hank's 8, Owen's 10.
Yep.
And these kids just walk up to these old guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that Shay right there. You mind if I command control that?
Yep.
And the guys just, what?
The boys it's all digital tracks,
Yep.
and however they know how to run it. And as soon as the Moose Creek guys they were like, "Do you guys want to be club members?"
Yeah.
And
They've got to be the youngest.
they are. Hank is officially, if we're not including Bryson,
Yeah.
Hank is officially the youngest member. They've already got their own special trains that stay with the layout.
Okay.
So this will be the first time they get to see them.
Nice.
And should be a good time. Anyway, segue, but
no, it's really neat. Yeah. So how was the train ride?
Train ride was great.
I saw a picture of you, of Bryson and you.
Yeah. We do a holiday train ride every year. We have since 2019, so for the last 5 years. Sometimes 2 holiday rides a year. My kids are spoiled. We last rode the Chehalis Polar Express in 2019, and it was back when they still had like wooden benches in the train cars.
How is it now?
Now they have table and chairs. So it's kind of they've upscaled that a little bit, and they've taken the performance piece of it with elements from the book and the movie to the next level.
Really?
There was a guy that plays the conductor, Tom Hanks's character in the movie. He was very good, very animated. He punched the golden tickets with the hole punch over the kid's head.
Oh, wow.
And he was so animated, my very introverted grandpa leaned over to me and said, "You couldn't pay me $1,000 to act like that on a..."
Generation gap.
Yeah. So,
that's funny.
It was great. You get cookies and cocoa, and you get.
How far out do they go?
We went out to Spooner Road.
Okay.
So not the full huge, but you stop at the North Pole and pick up Santa, and then Santa goes through the train. And
do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do. They leave the cars here, and then they go on the siding, and then they come around to the front.
The good old neon green USN number 6 pulls you out, and then takes the siding and goes back to the other side of the train, tows you back. The steam train, as you know, is getting worked on. I think I was
just going to ask you, how's it coming?
$1 million in repairs, I think, estimated for the required maintenance that goes into.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's what I read last.
Holy moly!
So the green engine they use is a Navy. Little switcher they bought from Bremerton.
Yeah, it's a tiny little one.
It's cute too. It's so
it's not really a train. I mean, it's something you might have in your yard.
True.
No. You know what they need? I mean, if they're going to use that little Navy switcher, they need to go over to that railroad. What is it? The Tacoma Central or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Go over to those guys behind the dairy bar and say, "Hey, we got to use one of these locomotives here because there's a couple of locos sitting over there. There's like an SW 9 or a 2 or something like that. It's an old Union Pacific switcher."
Ooh.
Oh, I stopped and took pictures of it. And then they've got a GP7 over there.
Okay.
I mean, that thing's from like 1955.
Sure.
And it's the switch engine's still yellow in Union Pacific colors. The GP is painted like the gray for the railroad. Now those are cool.
They are.
Those are real locomotives there.
You seen the blue one? Yeah. My kids like the blue. They call it the local when it's a little one.
The
like
local.
That. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad you had a good time on that. What else do we have here? We talked about tree lighting.
We talked about Chickmas. We did not talk about the barn sale on Tooley Road.
Okay, talk about that for a second.
I don't know a whole lot about it other than there's a barn on Tooley Road and they're having a barn sale. It sounds similar if you remember the old Wadeen barn sale they used to do out Spooner Road. Sounds similar to that, sort of in the Chickmas vibe. So just excited to hear how that goes. And also that same day, you can make a day of it, Friday, December 6th, there is the holiday craft fair at the Chehalis Senior Center, which is that TRC Older Adult Center. And then there is...
Now that's the one across the street from...
Old Goodies.
Yeah, Chevrolet.
Yeah. So there's that. You can make a whole day of sales there. And then that puts us into Saturday.
It's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one this weekend. It's Friday, on Black Friday, and Saturday as well. So 12 to 5 on Friday, Saturday 10 to 4, and this is at the Jester Auto Museum.
Ooh, is that an event by Gemini?
Yeah, that's the Gemini event. Free entry, free parking, over 40 vendors and food trucks.
Yep.
They've got a mobile bar, must be 21, obviously, to purchase. Take your own free photos with Santa Friday from 2 to 4 and Saturday from 12 till 3. Yeah. And that just sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that is, we've talked about that before, but that's Ashley Scott Stotts, owner of Gemini Events.
Okay.
She also is the business owner that just opened that little kids baby boutique in the Old Star Tavern.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Country Chic Baby Co. I
Okay.
believe what it's called.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
drove
another one.
past and looked in and thought, I'm so glad they didn't tear the
Yeah.
Star down.
Yeah.
Because the county bought that, and I
Mhm.
think initially they were going to make that into a parking lot,
And then it was the Guardian ad litem office for a while.
right?
Yeah. So
And now it's did she buy it?
I think she's just in the bottom floor. I think the upstairs might still be separate spaces.
Okay.
So
Yeah, but
not
that's
sure.
nice. Well, good job.
So.
Let's see here. Napavine Funtime Festival.
Mm-hmm.
This is coming up next week. So Napavine Funtime Festival, excited to host the city's 46th annual Christmas parade.
Ooh.
And that's on Saturday, December 7th. Parade time has been changed to 6 p.m. this year.
Okay.
Because they've got football that might happen. They're not sure yet.
It will. Napavine 1 Saturday.
Okay, so it will happen. Okay, so the parade was at 4. Now it's at 6. I always say this about parades: get there early.
Yeah, don't have a plan.
Have a plan, especially if you've got a stroller.
Yes.
And cold kids. After the parade, Lewis County Fire District number 5 will host Santa and cookies and hot chocolate at the fire station.
Did your family ever hire a Santa to come to your house when you were growing up?
No.
No? Okay.
Your mom didn't somebody oh you guys did.
What?
Oh.
What
I thought
did we
you
do?
told me a story about hiring a Santa.
Well, so when I was a kid,
Yeah.
there was a well-known guy. You just were talking about that made me think of it. There was a guy named Bob Veneman.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That used to do. He would dress up as Santa.
Oh yeah.
And we'd be at Grandma's for Christmas Eve,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden, there'd be kind of a
Whoa,
flurry of
what's going on?
activity.
Yeah.
And here would come Santa downstairs, and of course, as little kids, we were just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Santa!"
He did that for a long time.
He did,
Yeah.
yeah. And he passed away several years ago now, but that's a huge memory for me. But my point being,
good one.
we do have several Santas around here that are available for hire if you are in the market for such things or need to make your kids believe a couple more years.
They're Santa's helpers.
Yes.
And because he can't be in he's magic, but he can't be in all these small towns and areas all at once. So he does have a vast amount of helpers.
Well, and here's your case in point here. We were on our our Polar
Mhm.
Express train ride Saturday. Santa, if you have kids listening, turn it off or get them out of the room.
Yeah.
The Santa that was on the Polar Express is also one of our Cub Scout masters.
Oh,
so it's Scoutmaster
again,
Mercero.
but he's a helper.
He is, and so
He can have another life.
Hank, 8 years old, went right along with it. He didn't say anything.
Mhm. Owen, how'd that
Gary
go?
got to Owen, and Owen says, "You're not fooling me."
Oh, boy.
And Gary said something like, "Hey, Santa's got to have a side job, maybe."
Absolutely. No.
But Owen's also at that age where he's pretty smart, and
Mhm.
we said, "Well, there's other kids. Don't ruin it for the other kids."
Hey, do you remember at our holiday concert we had last year?
Yeah, with
For
Ty Herndon.
Yeah, for the Eli Sports Network. Remember that Santa?
Barely.
Yeah, that's my neighbor Steve across the street.
Oh, okay. So
he is Santa.
Yes. Oh, and they had the backdrop set up.
Yes,
I do remember.
Yes,
that. Okay.
and Mrs. Claus was there as well.
Yeah.
So Steve's got a beard that's it's like not like it's more like combed or something.
Mm-hmm.
So he looks just like Santa.
He's a styled Kris Kringle.
Well, it's his I think he's what is he? I forgot.
Anyway,
it's his nationality, and he was telling me about it because he says, instead of being real, his beard being real curly, it's more just he can actually kind of comb it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So anyway, but he's a great Santa.
Well, they're out there.
They're Santa,
out there.
can you come to my house and bring me trains?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That went on forever. What do you want for Christmas? Trains.
Well, there's that for our kids. The oldest has asked for a gaming PC this year, which I don't know how Santa's going to deal with that. But we will figure something out. I might get him a very small system that's expandable. Like he can save up money and get a new video card or something.
Why don't you get him a 4x8 sheet of plywood and tell him to go out there and build it?
I could do that as well. Yeah.
Trying
to make Christmas a little magical.
No, I know, but they can build their own layout.
They can.
They're technical, man.
They have enough track by now. My goodness.
I bet they do. Oh,
So-
you know what though? My middle son Aaron did ask the other day. He's over in Pasco,
Yeah.
and for the first time in his adult life, he says, "Hey, Dad, when you come over, can you bring my trains?"
Oh.
Ooh. I thought, well, that's progress right there.
There you go.
Because see, I drug them around to so many swap meets when they were kids. I think I ruined them.
I don't think you ruined them. I think every kid naturally kind of revolts against their parents' hobbies and like camping.
Yeah.
Camping is a great example. I hit
Mhm.
about the teenage years and I was like,
Mhm.
I do no interest in this anymore. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, get me out of here. I need the woods. We're gonna
Mhm.
don't call me.
I grew up on the Tootle.
Yes.
My dad, and I'm not kidding when I say this, one of the greatest fishermen that's ever lived.
Mm.
You know, everybody else will be walking out. You get anything? Nah, there's nothing in there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Walk out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Tootle was where
Oh yeah.
we grew up. So when I got to be a teenager, I'm not ever going fishing again.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll stay home.
Yep.
Hey, we've covered a lot of events here. In fact, I think we went long again.
We did.
Man,
but
we
it's
can talk and
fine.
talk and talk. But I do have something else I want to ask you, but we got to take a break first.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so we'll take a break. Mohney Show back right after this. At Tyler Rental, quality equipment and helpful counter pros save you costly delays. For projects big and small, Tyler has Genie man lifts and forklifts, Deere excavators, welders, and generators, plus new tools from Steel, Milwaukee, and Hilti. While you're in the store, shop for hard hats, safety glasses, gloves, hearing protection, and much more. Contractors and homeowners depend on Tyler Rental for selection and well-maintained equipment to avoid downtime. Tyler Rental, 153 Hamilton Road, south of Chehalis. The weather is changing, and it's time to make sure your vehicle is ready for heavy rain, cold morning starts, plus ice and snow. Schedule an appointment now at Point S Centralia OK Tire to have a multi-point inspection. The pros at Point S will check your shocks, brakes, including fluid, battery, and of course, your tires. Point S Centralia OK Tire has the best brand name tires like Cooper, Goodyear, and Nokian in stock and ready to put on. Your new tires also come with a warranty good at over 200 locations. Point S Centralia OK Tire, 1741 Harrison Avenue in Centralia. And we're back with the Mohney Show, and right now Brittany's with me. So here's what happened last week. We did have Brittany bring in all the ingredients to make this. I guess it would be like a kind of a salad, but it's not completely a dessert.
Well, see, we call it apple snicker salad.
Yeah,
And if you call it salad, you can have more of it at regular dinner, right?
right. You
Like,
can
and
have it with dinner.
Right. And we talked about how this is a debate. Like, is it a dessert? Is it a side? Depending on what side of the family we go to.
Yeah, but it's got Snickers bars in it, so it
Yeah.
might be a dessert.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not sure what happened, but one of our crappy microphones didn't work.
something. We lost part of the audio, so I had to sort of rebuild some of it to salvage it.
Yeah.
We'll put that up on Facebook since it wasn't available here.
Yes. So
And it also has Bruce Kimsey in it still.
Yeah.
So if you're a Kimsey fan.
Yeah. Thanks to Bruce for coming in, and it was very tasty.
No, we love
And it was
apple
easy to
snicker
make
salad.
too, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this
I
is-
mean, I time lapsed some of it in the post processing, but I mean, less than 5 minutes basically.
yeah, it's one of those ones. I mean, if you have everything, it's as they say, quick and easy.
Yep.
At your house for Thanksgiving, are you doing the turkey? Because we talked about it, and you
Mhm.
guys. Okay, so you are.
Well, so my mother-in-law is going to do a turkey this year,
Okay.
and Grandma will do a turkey. We won a ham at Ham Bingo.
I
Week or
saw
so
that.
back. We made one early.
Okay, so
We
yeah,
got two.
you had two.
We made one. I think it was Sunday.
Mhm.
Because they're huge. I mean, they're like 15-pound hams or something like that.
Wow, where do they come from?
I want to say, and I'm not for certain, but I am pretty sure that Cisco actually donated them to the senior center.
Oh, nice.
They're a Cisco product, and that was what I
Yeah,
had heard.
so they're
was
gonna
that
be
they were
good.
donated. So yeah, we have that turkey, and we're only like maybe halfway through it, maybe. And so
The
we're-
ham.
the ham. Oh, excuse me, I said
Yeah.
Turkey. Ham.
Yeah, the ham. They're
So-
halfway through the ham.
We're gonna have turkey leftovers and ham just debauchery all weekend with all the proteins.
Oh man, this is going to be a tough week for Mohney here. Oh, by the way, you know what? I lost 7 pounds when I was getting weighed in last week.
Nice. Good achievement.
Damn good achievement for Mr. Man here.
And right before Thanksgiving, it's a huge accomplishment.
I'm gonna think about things a lot. Is it worth it? Okay, because I can have turkey.
Well, and there's undoubtedly probably some salads you can have and different things.
Maybe. I mean, but my favorite thing at Thanksgiving is the stuffing.
Oh, the carbs, for real.
I mean, it's like Tammy makes this stuffing that is second to none. And oh, God. Yeah. So I'm going to have to be really careful with that.
One of the things we make at, somebody always makes it every holiday, 2 of my favorite salads. There's the chicken ramen noodle.
Oh, yeah,
salad.
That's a good one. Oh, yeah.
I make a variation on that.
Bruce was talking about that one.
Oh, yeah. I make a variation on that's modeled after the Applebee's Oriental chicken salad. Mm-hmm. To make it with some different stuff, more spinach, so it's a very like nutritious, wholesome salad. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's and vinaigrette dressings they're pretty friendly calorie wise.
You know what? I've actually been not even using dressing.
Nice.
I just been because I like vegetables.
I really like that dressing that goes on those salads.
I like anything that's not good for you. We all like. Looks like at our house, it's the standard, a couple of turkeys. Mm-hmm. There was talk of some brining. I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen. Okay. You've got potatoes. You've got the stuffing. Oh, so good. Yep. The gravy. There's stuffed mushrooms. Mm-hmm. Oh, those are really good. What else am I leaving out? Oh, there's sweet potatoes. Mm-hmm. There's green bean casserole.
Yeah. I was listening to Mohney FM over here, and Commander Dave was talking about his smoked sweet potato salad. Oh. Am I getting that right, Dave? Yeah. And it sounded delicious. What is it?
Smoked sweet potato salad?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that sounds really good.
Sounds very savory and right up my alley. I think we talked a little bit last week. I'm going to do bacon wrapped chestnuts.
Oh, man.
My mom made those forever. That's like my one holiday memory. Nod those to my mom.
Way over the top.
Yeah. So
I usually look forward to my oldest son, Steven. He loves to cook. He's a fantastic cook, but he's not here this year.
Can attest to him being a good cook. I had that.
Yes.
Was that prime rib we had? Brisket.
That was
at your
brisket
house.
that we had. Oh, man.
Yeah. Those good
brisket. I made myself sick that day. That was his birthday.
Yeah, that was when we did the car. You did the car unveiling.
Yeah, we gave him his Camaro.
Yeah.
He's in the military now, and he's at school in Mississippi.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty funny because, so Matthew goes down there, the youngest, and he gets a job at Y101 in Jackson. And then he's down there. And then all of a sudden, Aaron gets transferred from the Tri-Cities down to Louisiana.
Yeah.
So he's in the South. Mm-hmm. And then Matthew comes back to San Diego. So he leaves. And then Aaron gets promoted, and he's back in Pasco. Jeez. And then Steven goes down.
They're just trading places.
He's in Texas, and now he's in Mississippi.
Okay.
Whew. I'm exhausted.
That's a lot of travel. But
it is a lot of travel.
The South gets kind of a bad rap sometimes, but we were there around this time last year. That's beautiful country.
It is beautiful. He just sent me a picture of
great food and culture. I drove over the Chattahoochee River.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
we drove over it we rented that Charger.
Yep.
Or it was Challenger, excuse me, for Skylar's birthday, and we drove over that river, and I saw the sign, and we both looked at each other. We're like, "No way!"
Far out.
The Alan Jackson song.
And that's when you went to the Mopar Museum, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That was
a good trip.
Pretty good. Okay, well, let's wrap the show up today. Thanks for being here, folks. Have a great Thanksgiving. If it's after Thanksgiving, have a great after Thanksgiving. Don't forget, we tape this on Tuesday. We're heading into the holiday season. Yep. There's a lot of stuff coming up, and Mohney FM, we are going to be doing our first remote broadcast pretty soon. I'm not going to say when, but there's a lot of stuff going on with that. So listen to me in the morning. I'm back on the air. Get the app. It's MohneyFM.com if you want more information. Mm-hmm. I'm just doing the same thing, man, and it's just a ton of fun. And we're playing a really new, fresh mix of the 80s, 90s, and more. Yeah. Yep. That wraps it up.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for being here, folks.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next week as we begin what we know as the holiday season.
It's here.
Until then, have a great Thanksgiving. Goodbye.